Hi guys, welcome again to my channel. Today I have an on-the-go video for you guys because I'm taking you with me to FEX Fall 2022, which is, as I'm filming this, like last weekend, so like 2 days ago. So I'm still a bit tired from it all. But yeah, I filmed a few things that I wanted to share, but more about that in a bit. First of all, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome to Quillscene. My name is Megan. If you like things that have to do with books, with reading, with writing, with geeky stuff, with events, because I'm a writer myself and I go to a lot of events with my books, you're in the right place. Make sure to click on the magical subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell, because on that way you'll always get a notification whenever I upload a new video. But yeah, FEX Fall happened 2 days ago. Time for a little recap. For the ones who have seen some other videos of me, you'll notice that the setup is a little bit different because I had to move a little bit because that side of the room is total chaos since we're still crafting all sorts of stuff for upcoming events. So that's why I had to, move a little bit. That's also why there is the window in the back. I hope it doesn't, give too much extra light. But yeah, we have to work with what we've got. So back to FEX. What is FEX? FEX is basically like a Comic-Con-like event here in Belgium. It's hosted at Flanders Expo in Ghent each time. And it has 2 editions each year. You have the spring edition at the beginning of April, and then the fall edition that is more like end of October. The first time I went to FEX as a guest and not as a visitor was also this year, was with the spring edition. I made a video of that one too. I'll link it down below in case you haven't seen that one yet and you're interested to watch it. Though back then I didn't have a booth of my own, or well, we didn't have a booth with Writers Collective. We were, well, most of our writers, well, a few of our writers more is more specific, were able to get like a signing slot at the booth of the Brugse Boekhandel. Which is basically a big bookstore that has a booth on each edition of FEX, and they work with like slots of 1.5 hours where they invite writers to come sign and talk about their books in that slot. That was very fun and also a bit more practical on our budget because getting a booth at FEX is quite expensive. But a signing slot was basically peanuts if you compared the prices. It only had like one, how do you call it in English again, disadvantage, because back then we were also asked to host panels, and the thing was that when we hosted the panels, people who visited those panels came to look for us and our books, but by then our signing slots had already passed, causing that they couldn't find us anymore. So that's why the weeks that followed after the spring edition, we were thinking about maybe it's worthwhile to look, into getting a booth at FEX so that we're constantly at the event, both before as after the panels. So we looked into it again. It was very expensive, but we decided to go for it, and also, try to keep the individual price of each, the individual money that every writer had to pay as low as possible by placing as many writers as we could in our stand, in our booth. And also we asked our colleagues, well, not really colleagues because they're not authors, but our friends from the Lucky Duckling. They are a meat shop from Bruges, And together with them, we have actually a project for about, I think, a small year now, called Meet and Read, which basically links Meet to our fantasy books. So we decided to ask them too if they were interested to, you know, share a booth. So basically we had a booth that was like a small part with the Meet, and then like 10 meters filled with writers. The writers that were present at our booth were Dimitri, Balcaen, me of course, Morgan Blade, that's my pen name that I used to write. We had Stewart, we had Petra, we had Jelmer Panman, who is better known as Helden op Papier. He writes Dutch D&D adventure manuals in his own world that he crafted, which is very fun, by the way. Then we had also Vanessa Gerrits, we had Maya Vermeulen, we had Nadia de Vriend, and we had Elisabeth Keerland. Again, I will put a little list down below in case you're interested in those books. Again, the most of them are Dutch. I think Dimitri, Balcaen, and Nadia de Vriend have English books as well, well, English translations of their books. But I'll put that one also in the description to let you know if it are only Dutch books or also Dutch English books. So make sure to check the description for that information. Normally, Matthias Maho is also like part of the core of our writers collective, but his publisher also has a booth at FAX, and when your publisher has a booth somewhere on an event where the writers collective is also present, it usually is stated in your contract that you are that you have to be present at the booth of your publisher. So he was present at the booth of Silverspoor, but from time to time he came to visit us because, again, we also had we had a lot of things planned for FAX, and one of the things that we had was our short story bundle. But I'm going to tell you a bit more about that later, because first up, we're going to talk about, of course, how I experienced like the whole build up of our booth and stuff like that. Because for us, the event didn't start, you know, Saturday, Sunday. It started way earlier because, of course, you have to do all the preparations and stuff. But also on Friday at 6 a.m. we left home because Friday, well, you could go for the build-up of your booth from Thursday, but we went from Friday. And on Friday, very early in the morning, we arrived at Flanders Expo, and our car was piled to the brim, filled to the brim, because of course we had like 5 tables that we had to fit in our car. We had, of course, books, we had banners, we had chairs, we had all sorts of stuff. Eventually, it was a good thing that we took as much stuff as possible with us on Friday, because then you could also, you know, enter the halls with your car. On Saturday, that wasn't possible anymore. But on Saturday, we still had, like, you know, our little wagon. I don't know how you call it in English. It's like this little wagon that you pull forward, filled with books that we still had to bring in. But yeah, we couldn't do it any other way, because on Friday our car was filled to the brim, as I said. But yeah, on Friday we met up with Dimitri, with Nele from Lucky Duckling. Petra, Jelmer, and Pen also visited to already drop as much stuff as they could. And it was actually fun to see, because then also the main hall, because yeah, that's also something I have to tell. Our booth was placed in the Artist Alley, which is Hall 4, which is basically like a side hall of Flanders Expo, because the main hall, where most of the booths R was already filled with all sorts of booths. There wasn't any room left anymore when we asked for a booth, so they asked if they could place us in the artist alley. And we were actually quite happy with that spot, because as it would prove on Saturday, it was very, very busy. So busy that the main hall was basically one big traffic jam. But then in the artist alley, it was also busy, but you still could breathe, you know? So that was a little less, scary, let's say it like that. But back to Friday, it was actually quite cool to see the main hall also, as it was getting built up, because as a visitor and even as a guest back in spring, I arrived on Saturday when the event opened and everything was set up and everything was ready for the visitors. So it was very cool to come into the different hallways that were still quite empty, and there was still a lot of echoing because it seemed also very big suddenly, because I was used to it to be already filled with small booths that divided the room. But it was very fun to see that. And it was also fun was when we arrived at the hall 4. There was at the side this huge billboard poster thing that had all the panels mentioned on it. And our panels were also mentioned on it. So on Saturday we were asked to do 2 panels. One writer's panel, which had the theme Plotter versus Spencer, the 2 big ways of writing. And then a D&D panel about the influence on D&D and fantasy, and the influence of fantasy on D&D. And on Sunday we gave another panel, which was about publishing your book. What ways what ways there are in the world to publish a book, and what the advantages and disadvantages of each way are. Those were mentioned there. As I said, our booth was part of Hall 4, which basically is called the Artist Alley because that's also the place where all the comic book artists are that are invited, where they sign their comics and their art prints, but also the guest actors that come each year. That's where their signings are and their photo moments are. There was a lot of people walking around that came for pictures with Billy Boyd, for example. So there were a lot of people walking around the Artist Alley. And lucky for us, they also stopped at our booth in the corner. We even had some guys dressed up as a T-Rex in those inflatable costumes. I'll try to post a picture here somewhere. That were very interested in our meat, so it was very funny to see that the dinos also like meat. And it was just so much fun to see all those cosplays, all the people that came to talk to us about our books. So it was very fun. And even though we were the only booth in the Artist Alley, it was very cozy and very fun and very busy also. So we couldn't complain. Let's put it like that. As I said earlier, we had a lot of things planned for facts, and one of the things we did was launch our bundle of short stories that we wrote with like the core group of the Writers Collective. The book is called Het Kruispunt der Verloren Zielen. In English, that would be like the crossroads of lost souls, translated loosely, well, as literally as I could. And it's basically 5 short stories written by 6 writers, because we have a writers duo for this bundle. And it all had our short stories were either an original one or an short story in the universe of one of our books. For example, the short story I wrote is a short story that fits in my Music Academy universe. But more about that in another video, because I will post normally soon, I hope, a video all about our bundle from when the bundle arrived and when I unboxed and got the first edition in my hands and stuff like that. So that's coming soon too. But as I said, we wrote that bundle with the core group of the Writers Collective. So that would be was me, Dimitri, Pan, Petra and Jelmer, who wrote their story together. And then of course Matthias. But as I said before, Matthias wasn't at our booth, but at the booth of Silverspoor. So at one point we had to call him to come over to our booth for a few minutes, because all the people who bought the bundle, of course, wanted the autographs from every writer. We were smart. We made like an autograph page in the front so that we didn't have to, you know, keep looking for everyone's story each time. So it was just all the autographs on one page. So that was very funny to see suddenly like a little line with with everyone's books that had to be signed. He had to like sign, I think at one point he had to like sign, I think, a pile of 15 books or something like that. So that was very funny. And on that way he also was kind of like a part of our booth along with, you know, Silverspoor. So yeah, that was very fun. Next to that, we of course gave panels again. Last time in the spring edition we did 2 panels, 1 each day. Now they already asked us to do 3 panels, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. As I said, the first one on Sunday was a writer's panel, being plotter versus pantser, the 2 ways of writing. Basically it's about a plotter has a tactic that he or she has like the entire story planned out. They know where they're going, they know where the story is going, how it's going to end, while a pantser writes more organic. They start writing without really having an idea how it's going to end or where they are going to write to. But they'll see how it goes, you know, the road is the journey and stuff like that. That's more the pantser way. But we quickly noticed that you are indeed one of both, but with like influences or of the other streaming. For example, I'm a plotter, but it's like 90% plotter and 10% pantser, because even as a plotter, when you have like your red line throughout the entire story planned out, there are still elements that can change or that are like the aha moments of the moment, you know. So it's never really 100% plotter or 100% pantser. So that was very fun. Our moderator was Vanessa Gerrits, and the guests were me, Pan, Dimitri, Petra, and Matthias. Did I mention everyone then? I think yes. I think it was with the 6 of us. And then our second panel on Saturday was about Dungeons and Dragons and how Dungeons and Dragons influenced fantasy and how fantasy influenced Dungeons and Dragons. We had as our moderator Jelmer, who is our DM of our group of writers too. And then Dimitri, me, and Petra were like the authors that, you know, defended the fantasy side. And we also got the company of Ewout Merlaan, who is a member of D&D Ghent. And yeah, he's a D&D player and also I think a DM. So he was more like the DM's, the D&D side actually. So and that's how we discussed like the influence of D&D on fantasy and how fantasy elements influenced D&D, because there were a lot of things that, you know, went hand in hand, which was also fun to talk about. Sunday we had our third and last panel, and that was a bit more specific in the writer's world, because that was all about how to publish a book. Well, not really how to publish a book, but more like what are the possibilities for publishing a book, because there are a lot of ways lately. So we discussed each way, each possibility, also with our own experiences, and also the advantages and disadvantages of each possibility. There we had as moderator Stewart, and then the guests were me again, Dimitri, Matthias, Petra, and Vanessa. And yeah, it was very, very fun. I also, as you guys probably saw, I added some clips now in this video. But I actually filmed the entire hour-long panels. Of course, they were in Dutch, but I'm planning to also upload those here on my channel. But of course, I will mention that it's a Dutch panel, so sorry for my English followers. You won't be able to understand much of it. But yeah, I thought it would be fun for the ones who do understand Dutch and did miss the panels, because there were a lot of people that came that asked us that if our panels would be filmed, because a lot of people couldn't come to Facts, or either they went on Sunday but wanted to see the panels of Saturday, or they came on Saturday and they didn't want to miss the panel on Sunday. So that's why we filmed it, and why I'm going also to upload them eventually on my channel. We also got visited then by R2D2 at the very last, at the very last moment on Sunday, because on Sunday it was like till 5 in the afternoon, which was very fun because I love R2. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. And then we are already at the what I bought as part of the video, because of course we had our own booth with the Writers Collective and with Lucky Duckling. But of course I tried to quickly walk around the grounds too and do some shopping myself. On Saturday that wasn't possible because, as I said, it was so busy. Back then it was like, well, every time the event opened at 10 o'clock for regular tickets, but for the early birds and VIPs it opened at 9, and the vendors could come at 8. And so at 8 you had like an hour to get your booth then ready for when it opened for the VIPs and the early bird tickets, and then at 10 it opened for the regular tickets. But in that short moment between 8 and 10, you actually could also walk around a bit as a vendor, because of course the moment the people start arriving you want to stay at your booth as much as possible, because of course when you have customers you have to tell about your books and you want to sell books, and you can't do that if you're not present at your booth. So on Sunday at between like 8:30 and 9:30, about a small hour, I walked around with my mom around the grounds to, you know, say hello to people that I knew that also had a booth, but also, you know, to get a feeling of Facts itself, and also do some shopping myself, of course. I have some things you can all probably see at the site ready to show you guys. One of the first things I bought, well, I went to order actually, were the earrings I'm wearing. I'll show you a little close-up later, well, in a bit. So this is a little shop called Ayame Designs, and I actually discovered them at Fact Spring 2022, and she makes gorgeous like witchy fantasy jewelry. And back at Spring, I bought 2 pairs of earrings that are basically my favorites because they are very comfortable, they are witchy, they are geeky, and I wear them basically on a daily basis. Whenever I wear earrings is either one of those 2 pairs. And now I had seen on her Facebook page that she had like this cute design of a little cat in like a window that was catching stars and moons. So I said I need to have that pair of earrings too. But I'm going to wait until Facts because she also has a website where you can order them. But I said I'm going to wait till Facts, then I can see her in person. So at Sunday I went to her booth and I asked, do you have the earrings with the cats? And she said, yes, I have them. And she had like one of the prototypes hanging in her booth that had like the beads that were dark blue. And she said, yeah, if you want, you can choose any color of pearl you want, because I can make those in like 2 minutes. I'm like, could you do it with purple? So she made them for me with purple. And then I also bought a set with wolf hats. She also had like similar like these, but then with wolf hats. And then black pearls, but that was a little birthday gift for someone, so those I can show you. But yeah, these are my new favorite earrings because yeah, I love cats, I love anything to do with moons and stars, so those are my favorites now. So thank you, Josie from Ayami Designs. Then actually the first thing I bought, I'm going to put you aside for a second, that was a booth, and I'm sorry I forgot the name, I'm sorry. But they had like very fun, a lot of wood engravings. So they had like boxes, they had trays, they had cutting boards, anything wood that you can think of, and they had then like the wood burning, wood burning pyrography. I always struggle with that word. But with the like geeky side, so they had like this cute little box with wooden box with like a D20 where a dragon was curled around on the lid engraved. They had Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service burned into a cutting board. And then they also had a lot of little trays with geeky things engraved into. And they also had some ceramics with fun quotes on. And my mom has been a tea drinker lately. So I saw this mug and I said I have to get her this. So this is the mug and it says the tea is strong in this one. So this is basically a Star Wars inspired mug. The quote is usually the force is strong in this one, but I love the tea pun, so I said I'm going to get that one for my mom. And I also got her, along with the mug, this little wooden tray. And as you guys can see, I'm going to give you a close-up, hopefully without a shadow. But at the side it has like a little bottle engraved and key, and the bottle has a little label that says drink me, so it is Alice inspired, Alice in Wonderland inspired. So I got my mom that as a set because she loves like a little tray and her mug, and then you know her tea bag and something, a little cookie or something, so she can have a little you know, full experience. I bought her actually this as a gift and as a thank you because she always goes with me to events, because I still don't have a driver's license because I'm scared to learn how to drive with a car because, you know, I have only one eye. So that's what was her little thank you gift, and she loved it. She was very happy with it because actually, fun fact, she had to quickly rinse this one out because she before I filmed the video, because she was already using it. But then I couldn't show, you know, a filthy mug on the video, so that's why she quickly rinsed it out. So that was my mom's gift. Then I was looking for something very specific as a little gift for my brother. My brother is a big Pokemon fan, and one of his favorite Pokemon is Litten, one of the starters of the Alola region. Why is he a big fan of Litten? Litten is basically a black cat that can breathe fire. And as some of you may know, we have our own black cat called Boo. Again, I'll try to post a picture here somewhere. And Boo is like the apple of my brother's eye. It's his Bukashuka, his Buchala, his little demon, his little bat, his Spookachi, as we call him too. And yeah, he sees a lot of Litten in Boo and Boo in Litten. So a few Christmases ago, I think last Christmas or the Christmas before that, I had been looking for a Litten plushie because my brother loves plushies, and he has even like a cubicle on his in his room, in his bedroom, that is filled with his Pokemon plushies, but he didn't have a Litten yet. And the only Litten plushie I could find back then was like this teeny tiny Litten that was basically a plushie keychain. So I had to basically cut off the keychain part of that little Litten so that he had the little plushie left. Which is still one of his favorites, but I was still looking for, you know, a big Litten. And at Fax there are a lot of vendors that have a lot of Pokemon, anything Pokemon really. You could, there were t-shirts with Pokemon, there were hats with Pokemon, there were umbrellas with Pokemon, there were of course Pokemon cards, Pokemon figurines, and a lot of Pokemon plushies. So I was looking for a Litten, but nowhere there was a Litten to be found. Until there was this one booth that was just, and I mean only just Pokemon plushies, and it was so beautiful. They had like Seadras, they had Horsies, they had Starmies, they had Magikarps, they had Pikachus of course, they had Charmanders, they had Manaphy's, they had Jirachis, they had any Pokemon you could think of. And what was extra fun, the two vendors of that booth were dressed as Team Rocket grunts. So they had like the black t-shirt with the red R on, and also the black hat with the R on. So that was very cool to see. So when my mom and I reached that booth, we asked, do you guys have a Litten plushie? And they were like, we have one left. And I was like, yes, please put it aside. I'm coming right back to get it. So I got my brother a little Litten plushie, and it's very soft. And when I got home and took the little label off and everything, because my brother doesn't like the labels on his plushies, that's his autism. I saw that these are actually the official plushies from the Japanese Pokemon store. So that's why they are so soft, because Japanese plushies are like another degree of soft for some reason. But this is so cute. I mean, look at the little tail, and look at this little face. He's so cute. Litten is also one of my favorites, if I'm honest, but he's so cute. So I got this one for my brother, because of course my brother, since my mom and I spent the weekend at Vex, my brother was home alone. Not that he minded that much, because he likes to be home alone from time to time, but still he was happy that we thought of him, and I got this as a little like comfort gift, and he was very happy that he now has also a Litten to put on his Pokemon plushie shelf. Oh, he's so soft. Then there was something else I bought. There were a lot of Disney products too, and though I don't have like much of a link with Alice in Wonderland, I love the Cheshire Cat. And they had like the little statues that are like the Disney traditions, I think, that is like a combination, well, it is like an partnership with Jim Shore. So the little red boxes. So I got this little statue of the Cheshire Cat. I love the little like designs on his stripes and stuff like that. I love the style that it's made into. And then I also got, because I couldn't pick, so I got them both. The little, it's actually, because there's a little loop on it, so it's actually a Christmas ornament. But I'm not going to use it as a Christmas ornament, I'm just going to use it like as a little statue. So it's the Cheshire Cat with a little Christmas wreath around his tail. But the reason why I'm not using it as a Christmas ornament is because, again, I have 2 real-life Cheshire Cats, which makes that the Christmas tree isn't always safe territory, and I would be gutted if this one would fall out of the tree and be broken. So I'm just going to, you know, use it as a little decoration piece in probably my display cabinet. So yeah, got 2 Cheshire Cats. And then last but not least, I got a gift from my mom, which is this. And it may look a bit funny, but it's basically a shoulder dragon. So it's filled like, it's like a bean bag like filled dragon. But because it's filled with like the little bean bag thing, it fits on your shoulder, so it quite fits good on your shoulder, so that you can walk around like it with it. And I got, she chose the white dragon with blue eyes, because in Music Academy I have a character that is a dragon with blue eyes, and that dragon is also the main character in my short story that is in our short story bundle. So yeah, this is a little shoulder dragon. There is like iron wire in the wings, so you can manipulate that as you go. But yeah, I like these ones a lot, and my mom went and bought me one, so now I can take my dragon everywhere I go. My dogs were very interested when they saw this, because they thought it was for them. They also thought the little plushie was for them, but they always think that when I bring a plushie home, it's for them. Well, it's not always the case. But yeah, I have now a new pet. Again, this is number 6 then, because I already have 3 dogs and 2 cats. Now I have a dragon. Yay! But yeah, that was my experience at Facts Fall 2022. We're already talking, again, it's only 2 days afterwards that I'm filming this, but we're already talking about Facts Spring 2023. So chances are quite high that we are getting another booth then. And if that's the case, I'll film again, and you'll see this video, well, the recap of it, appear in a few months. That was it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a little thumbs up. Feel free to leave also a comment down below. I'll try to get to you as soon as possible. And yeah, I hope I see you guys soon for another bookish, magical, maybe on the go video. Bye!